Merry Meet Annie here. This video is in response to one of my subscribers' questions. I've been noting all the questions you've been sending me. And as I mentioned, probably videos going forward are going to be in response to questions that you all provide me. Lots of videos out there already that I've done. If I were to sit down here and go, oh, what am I going to video about today? I would just get a blank in my head. So this particular video spoke to my heart at the moment. The subscriber asked for me to address my thoughts on the difference between the wand and the blade. And especially since the current group of seekers that began in December last year is finishing up their sessions on fire, and the blade is related to fire as the witch's tool aligned to it. I have thoughts about the blade and the wand that are present in my mind at the moment. So it was very easy for me to quickly capture my thoughts on this for you. It's a great question. The first thing I really have to say is, anytime we talk about tools, we talk about what any one of us chooses to use as a way to connect ourselves to our practice, to our craft, to the energy we work with. And we don't need any of them. We also can choose to use them as anything from an artistic to an energetic to a spiritual expression or connection. So if I talk about the power of the wand and the blade to me, there is also the power to me of this and this, with no tools involved. There's also the power of this, what I think that is the point of those tools. You will know from having researched the topic, the wand and the blade can be opposite in certain traditions or practices, group or solitary, as far as what element they align to. For some, the blade is air and the wand is fire. Not for me. Not because someone told me at some point wand is air and blade is fire. Although they did, if I'm being honest, and that is what I first learned. But it's the way in which I was taught about their meaning and what they came to mean to me, which is why they stayed aligned to those elements. According to what the meaning of each of the elements are to you, it might make sense to align them to something else. So, let's start by my referencing the wand. This is my wand. This is actually made from driftwood, so it's extremely light, which is one of the reasons why I really like it. My wand for years had been, sometimes it was any old stick I picked up along the way that just felt like it had a balance and almost a freedom, a lightness to it. And then I actually for a while used a baton that you lead music with. And I used for a while a drumstick that I had that was extremely light, and it felt like the wand to me. And then when I got the particular one I use now, I got it because when I was teaching, I wanted something to place in the hands of students to work with them on the power of the blade. So I don't mean to confuse you by saying it took the place of the blade. I'll explain why. Students didn't have their blade yet, and my blade is something I hold personal, so no one touches it but me. So I looked for something we could kind of share as a communal or a blade between the two of us if we were working together. And I ordered this actually from online, specifically because it was made from driftwood, and I knew if that were the case it would be very light in the hand. And I wanted the student to focus on the energy they were putting into it, not feeling it as hefty, not being as aware of it in their hand, more or less. So this is what my wand looks like. I think I've had this now for probably 20 years or so. So someone obviously just did a great job of using some kind of a woodworking equipment to lathe it into the shapes that it has. So let me tell you what the wand signifies to me. Air to me is all about what's out there, what's outside of us. It's what we experience of the width of life. Everything from life experiences to knowledge, to the facts and figures we collect in life, everything that we bring together that we then decide what of that is our life. So it's the wider experience of living before we've honed it down to its central, most powerful meaning to us. The wand, to me, is in relationship to that. It's in relationship to everything that is out there. It represents our connection to it. So working with the wand energetically, here's what I do use it for. For becoming in contact with or directing energy that is already out there, what is outside of me. If you imagine if I were raising energy, for instance, with my wand. If you imagined, you know that Olympic competition where they have the big stick with the big, like, material that flows off of it, and they go around doing, I never understood why it was an Olympic competition, except I think it actually has very ancient roots. But that, imagine when I am using my wand, that energy is trailing off the end of it, that it is literally collecting, and the energy that's already out there is following along with it, conducting what exists out there. And there's no reason why you can't then use the wand in some way to condense that down. But the point of working with air to me is gathering in, the ingathering, the taking in of what's out there, or directing what's out there. So if I use wand in my hand, I am consciously connecting to all of the energy that is out there available for me to either lead, if you imagine that trailing fabric billowing behind this, or gathering in some way and consolidating and bringing together. But the point is, it's out there and I'm working with it. I am deciding to work with what is presented to me, what is available to me outside of me. To me, that is within the realm of air, which is why the wand, to me, is within the element of air. People have asked me, do I see similarities between the wand and the blade? I probably do, in the sense that they both can have to do with manifesting something, making something happen, consolidating something down to the point of tangibility, reality, effecting change in some way. I actually probably see the wand, the way I use it, connected more to the energy of my besom. When I use my besom to clear space, which is the only time I use it, when I move that around, I'm dealing with the energy that's there, and I move through it, and I'm acknowledging what is around me. Now, unlike the wand, which I want to manifest something from that, direct it, or bring it together, when I use the besom, I'm moving through that intentionally to settle it down. So what they have in common is it's out there that I'm working with. That brings us to, for me, where the blade comes into this. The blade, to me, is aligned to the element of fire. The element of fire, in the way I know it, is the true, pure essence of who we are, what we believe, what we're devoted to, what matters the most, what we will protect. Everything that condenses down to the purest essence of who we are in this world. So unlike the wand, which connects me to air and out there, the blade connects me to what is in here. The purest, most, I want to say, fiery, burning, passionate, devotional, life-giving, life-sustaining energy of what is in me. That can be a reflection, and indeed it is, everything I take in from air. But it is what I make of it, how it transforms me, that to me is the power of fire and the blade. So if I work with my blade, I'm working not out there. I'm working from everything that rises within me. I can work with my blade, literally, heart to heart, and know that it is my reminder in that moment of my focus and my dedication and what matters the most. My passion, my belief, my spirituality, the vigor, the energy of my life, everything that it is, that part of me that fire has reduced down to its most basic element, like the spiritual alchemy of who I am. And the power of the blade to me, once it is centered on this molten core of who I am in the realm of fire, becomes then, if I use my blade as an example, rises from that, and then it is about this. It is about the point of the blade. It is whatever rises up within us through our choice, rises up within us, and then in some way releases, becomes manifest in the world. The point of the blade is the representation. In the element of fire, if you look at the dancing of flames, they have that blue, green, orange, red, burning color at the base of it. And then those orange flames turn to yellow, turn almost to white. And then at the very end of them, they give over to something else. Can you tell, looking at a fire, where the fire ends and the something else begins? So to me, the power of the point of the blade is the point at which we make an offering of ourselves and we end and something else begins at our choice, at our discretion. That to me is the power of the element of fire. It begins within. But it is about, even in that instance, the momentum forward out of that. If the direction of air is out there, as it is in my worldview, fire from me, here, and what moves from that. So, if you don't have a wand, or you don't have a blade, to experiment with the energy that will show you the difference of the two from me. Take your hand, flat, and this movement where you feel the resistance of what's out there, where you are literally making a difference by rearranging what's out there, is the power of the wand and air. And then, if you point, that is the difference between the wand and the blade for me. That comes from here on out, and when I point, I have a direction and a focus, and I have manifested something. Where this, equally powerful in so many ways, this is working with what's out there and reforming it. This is working with the passionate, devotional center of us and declaring something will be. Both powerful. I'm not saying that they need to align to those elements for you, but you might want to explore in your energetic work when or the times at which you are the conductor. You are the conductor. You are finding something that you relate to, you connect to, you'd like to work with, and you are making something out of it. And what about the times then when you have something that comes from the center of you that you are declaring will be? So, energy. Two forms of energy. Could you use this for both of those forms of energy? Could you use this for both of those forms of energy? Could you use this for both forms of energy? Could you simply use this? Absolutely. But what I wanted to share here is, why do I align wand to air and the blade to fire? To me, one is distinctive, personal. It is who I am in the center of my universe. Everything that I experience consolidating down to this passionate, devoted, essential, pure essence of who I am. And then what I choose, the point of the blade, to make that. And then there is the connection of the wand. it's kind of a refreshing alignment with and melding with and flowing with everything that is surrounding me, working with it, and together making something come of that. So no matter whether you work with a wand or a blade or your fingers or your body in some energetic way, your heart, your soul, your mind, the difference in the two energies is, when are you working with something that's out there that you're connecting to, and when are you working with something that rises so purely and intimately and personally from within you that you make the choice of how it comes into the world. Here's my thoughts on the wand and the blade. What does it feel like for you? If not in specifics of a wand and a blade, how does working with those two kinds of energies, the external, the wide expanse of possibility externally, and then that amazing wide expanse of internal possibility? I'd look forward to hearing what it's like for some of you when it comes to working with these energies. And if you use a tool or not, I say it's equally powerful. I wish you mirth and reverence. Merry part.